What's up, Fortnite players and anime fans? Welcome to another video where you could possibly watch me fail at Fortnite and talk about anime. Tonight, I'm going to try to convince some people to watch Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. I realize this show is pretty popular, but there are still people I know who enjoy shonen anime that will not give it a shot. I want to admit that I did drop this anime after the first season, but picked it back up because I was curious as for why it was so popular. It did not let me down. Starting off, the anime's first season has a pretty slow start. However, I was interested that they acknowledged two separate main characters from the beginning. Obviously, these characters were complete opposites, both born into a different type of environment, so I was interested in finding out how they would interact with each other. The anime delivered. It masterfully set up the characters' personalities and conflict. Now, it was just time to get their powers. This is where it started losing me. I'm not a big fan of vampires or werewolves. It just seems like the American market has been oversaturated with them. However, this is the route it seemed to take, minus the werewolves. This took me out of mystery of how to defeat the enemy. They did develop their own powers, however, so it kept me coming back. The fight scenes had a lot of heart, but it seemed to fall short of what it needed. It was mostly powerhouse fighting without strategy, but I don't mind this if there's a lot of movement going on. I explained this in more detail in another video. By the end of it, I felt like I really didn't connect with the main character. He was just too unflawed and didn't have too much personality besides being nice. I promise I'm getting to why you should watch it. I just want to explain my side of why I dropped it because maybe someone could relate and possibly jump back in it if I managed to do it. Now we get to the exciting stuff. Season 1 was basically a setup for the next seasons to come. It did its best to wrap it up quickly, but it was still too long for most people. This season, however, makes up for everything. We get the introduction of a new main character, from the same family line, of course. However, this person has a far more fun character than the previous guy. Every season introduces a new main character, which seems to keep the story fresh. Also, since we're just going further down a bloodline, it doesn't feel like it's a reboot. It's still an ongoing storyline. Each new season also brings in a new environment with its own unique art style. Each art style is animated fantastically and make you feel like you're watching a colorful manga page. This season also drops some of the over-top powerhousing for more of a strategic formula. Add that with how dramatic this anime gets and it makes it an all-around fun experience. They also throw away the vampire idea, but in an intelligent way that blends it in with the storyline. It's like this show read my mind about everything that I found wrong with it and patched it. It takes a few episodes into the season and get to this point, but it's extremely worth it. Characters also die in this show, so you do get that suspense or sense of fear that I love talking about. It does such a great job getting you to like the characters that you're going to be invested in them. Season 2's last two fights are probably some of my top favorites, just from the sheer creativeness. Speaking of that, let's get on to Season 3. There's a new main character, like I mentioned before, however, not enough time has passed so the previous is still in it. The show introduces a new power that prevents the power scaling problem that so many shonen anime have problem with. This is pretty much when you have to constantly upscale your characters and villains so much they basically become gods. Dragon Ball Z and Naruto are good examples of that. The problem with this is not much creativity can go into this if your character can just blow up planets. This season has some of the most well-crafted, created, and suspenseful fight scenes out of most anime. The strategic battling always delivers, even the ones with the minions. A few fights in the season are in my top favorites of all anime. That's a lot considering there's usually one fight per anime that sticks with me on top of all others. This season just keeps hitting its marks on my fight scene categories. It has the action, dramatization, suspense, flexibility, and even strategy that mix into the perfect formula. The only thing they miss is the emotion and build up. That is only because there are so many fights. It is hard to put emotion and build up into every single one. Don't worry, it is there for the ones that matter the most, though. Every good show needs an equally good villain. What makes a good villain is also character development. Nobody wants a villain to be evil just for the sake of it anymore. The show shows you the entire life from the beginning of our first villain, so even though it might seem like this sometimes, it's fully explained why he's the way he is. This show even takes a serial murderer and gives him more personality and ambition than most shows do today. Each main villain feels like a real threat to our main cast and manages to send fear into our hearts. This show is just an all-around fun experience. Plus, if you haven't gotten into it yet, then you now have the privilege to marathon it. I highly recommend it. Just get past that hump of a first season and you're in for a great ride. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think about this series. Leave a like and subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you. Looks like I still have some extra time left, so I want to talk about that scene in the beginning. I have no clue how this guy managed to get on top of my builds when I blocked him off. I paused and rewind and watched that scene multiple times and still couldn't figure out, because he didn't have any other building next to him, and it was far too late for me to go back in replay mode. So also, what do you guys think about that? I mean, I know I'm not the best player in the world, but I don't know, it just seems weird to me. I'm not going to say he was cheating, but what the heck happened? Let me know if you think I'm just crazy.